To tell people stories, you need to be there.
Well, it's actually no stories.
This wall here, it's right at your eye level.
To get the story, you need to go to the story. Nothing more destructive than water, is it?
Is there something you'd like to tell me?
The Danish Girl has been nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Actor Eddie Redmayne and Best Supporting Actress Alicia Vikander.
We do these things together.
Redmayne is the performance of the year.
I can't go on living without knowing who I am.
And Vikander is stunning and extraordinary.
I love you.
Don't miss the movie critics are calling a cinematic landmark.
You're my whole life.
The Danish Girl. Watch it now on demand, not on Netflix streaming for years.
To be a champion, you have to do things when you don't always want to do them.
It's years and years of blood, sweat, and tears.
I've missed out on weddings. I've missed out on birthdays.
Homecoming, prom, dances.
Every single day of the year, I was in that water.
It's pretty crazy.
For me, the sacrifice is being away from the people you love the most. It's really hard. I'm okay with the things that we give up because it's what makes us tick.
Because anything that you put your heart to, it's possible.
The Olympics, this August on NBC.
It's Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome to Weekend Update. I'm Michael Che.
I'm Colin Jost, and here are tonight's top stories. Early today, actually, Bernie Sanders won the Democratic caucus in Wyoming, his 5th consecutive victory in the primaries. And after winning 5 in a row, he instinctively shouted, "Bingo!" According to the latest Gallup poll, 70% of women have an unfavorable view of Donald Trump, while the other 30% have no view at all because they were pepper sprayed at one of his rallies. While campaigning in New York, Hillary Clinton rode the subway, but it took her 5 times to swipe her Metro card, before realizing that she was actually swiping her Goldman Sachs American Express card. Hillary only rode the subway 1 stop, though she did make $4 with her breakdance crew.
Bernie Sanders was criticized after he inaccurately said that people riding the New York City subway still use tokens. But in fairness, Bernie actually does still use tokens in his campaign. Oh, yeah, none of you were there. While campaigning in New York, Hillary Clinton rode the subway 1 stop. Not to be outdone, Ted Cruz dragged a slice of pizza down the steps with his teeth.
And Ted Cruz, I'd just like to say on behalf of all New Yorkers, please don't come here. We don't like you. I mean, I never thought I'd actually say this to anyone, but he doesn't deserve to eat at our Bubba Gum Shrimp Company. Okay? I mean, even the Times Square Elmo was like, I don't want to take a picture with this guy. And after your weird, veiled, anti-Semitic comments about New York values, you went and made matzah at a Jewish bakery? What are you doing next? Rolling out the first pitch at a lesbian kickball game? We don't have values in New York. That's why we all came to New York, to escape weird people with values like you. So please don't criticize New York unless you're a New Yorker. And you're not a real New Yorker until you've walked into your apartment and found a rat masturbating on your couch. Okay, then you can criticize New York, but not that much because that rat does pay half the rent.
You know, candidates are not going to appeal to New Yorkers by choosing to ride the subway. New Yorkers don't ride the subway because we like to. We ride the subway because we have to. It's the last place any of us want to be, unless you really need to buy batteries, candy, and porno at 9 a.m., or you really enjoy hearing a Puerto Rican teenager call a white lady the N-word, or maybe you just want to stand in a sticky puddle and guess, is this urine or Snapple? Or perhaps you've always wanted to see the world's largest penis on the world's poorest man. Other than that, there's no reason to enjoy riding the subway. In fact, the last person I would ever vote for is somebody I met on the subway.
That's a big penis. Well, the much talked about miniseries The People vs. O.J. Simpson ended this week. Here with a wrap-up is Somebody's Mom, Deanie.
I could have worn my neck. These lights are so hot, I'm sweating like a mouse at a cat show. Yeah. Gosh, you look hunky tonight, huh? Wow, you look like what's-his-face? The guy on the show with the girl with the red bob.
Thank you. So, Jeannie.
What?
Do you want to like give us a recap on the other day miniseries?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't get through all of it yet because I had to finish my soap first. Boy, are they ever getting good? Oh man, are you up to date? Because I want to spoil on this.
No.
So the whole family turned on Mustache, and he went to jail. And now Redhead is locked in the fallout shelter with Mustache's twin brother, No Mustache.
Oh my God!
And Lynn Posey had turned into the Nancy Reagan funeral.
This is a still.
Yeah.
Okay, and then did you watch OJ?
Oh, well, then I was about to, but then I spilled tuna casserole on my friggin' Twitter. And it kept going to the people versus BJ Simpson, and I couldn't get out of it.
And what happened then?
Well, first off, 210 guy and Deadeye started really reeling.
No, hold on, no. So you just watched a porn?
Well, I didn't have my glasses on, but it sounded like someone was plunging in a toilet and getting real frustrated.
Okay, all right. What are you eating, by the way? It looks like you're really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good. It's Brussels sprouts and imitation crab.
Oh, it's good. It's a good combo.
Brussels sprouts are a riot because they smell like a fart, but they actually taste like a burp.
I should have.
Save you one or two of these stink bombs so you can pop them during the commercial.
Really cool, but thank you. That's so tempting, but.
Yeah, put it over. Save it.
Yeah, I'll save
It'll
it.
be good later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you ever end up watching? OJ, by the way?
I was doing a Thomas Kincaid puzzle at the lighthouse at the same time, but I got the gist.
Well, do you want to give us the gist?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I watched one where Show Me the Money, tried on the glove, the trunk, and then Curlyhead got really mad at Black Mr. Clean. And then Stumpy from Friends kept bringing up the Jews.
No, I think that was Robert Kardashian, and I think he was saying juice.
Oh, okay. Well, all I know is that I figured out who did it in the first 5 minutes. You'd have to be a dumbass not to guess that one.
And what show are you going to watch next, Tina?
Well, I'm starting to watch that one with dark hair and worrywart and crazy hair, and the woman who looks at all of them like she wants to hit them with her car.
I'm going to guess Seinfeld?
No, the election.
Oh, the election, yeah.
Nebraska has canceled plans for a new license plate design of a man throwing seeds from a satchel after it was noted that the image was sexually suggestive. However, the new design of a man husking corn isn't much better.
Police in New York are searching for a teenage girl who stabbed a 13-year-old boy on the subway after a friend of his called her ugly. So let this be a lesson, kids. Ugly girls are crazy. Congratulations to Villanova, who won the NCAA championship game 77-74, beating North Carolina on a three-point shot at the buzzer. You know, I wonder if Charles Barkley had any money on the game. That is clearly the celebration of a man who just found out he gets to keep his thumbs.
Warner Brothers is reportedly working on a movie about Speedy Gonzalez. But before you get too excited, it's called Speedy Gonzalez versus Batman versus Superman. So it's gonna be bad. Bill Clinton was criticized this week for snapping at Black Lives Matter protesters at a Clinton rally in Philadelphia. And I understand where Bill's coming from. I mean, he's defending his wife. It doesn't matter how wrong she is, because Bill knows he's still got to take his black ass home. And if anybody should support their wife, it's Bill Clinton. As much as Hillary is put up with, she should be able to fist fight a black baby on BET, and Bill better say, I support that woman.
The owners of an apartment complex in Michigan have forced all tenants to give DNA samples of their dogs so that they can determine who is not picking up after their pet. And after analyzing the DNA, it turned out the culprit was, well, this is weird, O.J. Simpson.
I don't believe he did that either. A British woman with only one arm has become a competitive rock climber. She's most known for her famous catchphrase, "Help, I'm falling!"
This week, Rob Kardashian got engaged to model Black China. Incidentally, Black China is also what my grandfather calls the movie Rush Hour.
Major League Baseball returned this week. The Golden State Warriors are chasing history, and the final round of the Masters tournament is set to tee off on Sunday. Here with his unique take of the world of sports is veteran stand-up comic Bruce Chandler.
Now, can we hurry this up? I'm trying to get home in time to watch the big game.
Yeah, I don't think any games are starting this late.
Exactly. Hey, that's just the thing, right? Us men, we're on the same page. And one thing we can all agree on is that women do not get sports.
That's your unique take?
Hey, hear me out, Michael. Hear me out. I bring my girl to the ballgame the other day. This is a true story, by the way. It's actually happened. All time she's going, who's winning, Bruce? Which team is which? Why aren't they all shopping? Pretty soon I'm asking myself, am I watching a baseball game or solving a mystery?
That's the whole joke?
But these days, they'll turn anything into a sport.
Okay.
Horse racing. You heard about this?
Yeah, man.
You seen this?
Yeah.
This is where they put a person on top of a horse and ride around in a circle. Now, I don't know about you, Michael, but I never heard about a guy on a horse.
What about, like, cowboys? Okay, I'm sorry. Did you run these jokes by anybody? Like, do you have any friends that you can work this material out on first before you come on national TV?
I guess... no, I don't.
Oh, my bad, man. I'm sorry.
And not only do people not want to be around me because they think I'm boring, but it probably doesn't help that I'm also very poor.
All right.
You can call me Mr. Worthless Pilot Junk.
Oh, come on. Hey, Bruce. I'm really sorry, but maybe live television isn't the place to work out your personal issues?
I guess the only issue I have worked out is that women do not get support.
Bruce Chandler, everybody.
You live on a planet that is mostly water. Sometimes water just starts falling out of the sky. When water freezes, people play on it. When it bubbles, people sit in it. When it moves, people slide down it. And smart people like this person said there's about to be even more water.
There's about to be even more water.
In fact, there's so much water out there, why in the world would you get a phone that can't get wet? The new water-resistant Galaxy S7 Edge.
Before the Snow White story, you know, two queens were the closest of sisters.
You are my weakness.
Until one's betrayal
What did you do?
began a war.